and let us all do we can to build a better future.
I want to give a shout out to this content creator. He goes by the name of Joe. Follow him on Twitter. He's been putting a lot of great collage videos together about, you know, the neoliberal jagoffs that are screwing this country over and screwing over working class citizens. If you're a diehard Democratic voter or a diehard Republican voter, hey, this video is just for you because it's showing you firsthand that no matter who you vote for President of the United States, it's one big club and you ain't in it. The only thing you get to have is bragging points that your team won the Super Bowl. But at the end of the day, no Democratic president or Republican president ever really cared for you. And this nightmare started with the beginning of good old Reagan and continuing on through all the other presidents up until good old Joe 30330. Now, this video has a point to it because with the article that I'll be bringing up afterwards, it'll show you firsthand that nothing's going to fundamentally change. The DNC and RNC are friends with each other. Their behests to their corporate donors, the top 1%, Wall Street, big banks, corporations. They're the number one constituents, not you, the working class citizen. So all this fear and derangement that we see in the 2016-2020 election cycle and the up-and-coming 2024 election cycle, it's quite clear. It's just there to make you afraid and to make people who can't think critically to either join Team Red or Team Blue. Walk away from the two-party system. Let's pull up this video here as Jimmy Dore shows us firsthand the U.S. history of presidents, the history of presidents in America. And again, shout out to Joe who put together this video. So let's play it. Boy Reagan.
There's Ronnie Big Head Reagan. Reagan had always been admired for his honesty. Behind Jimmy Carter's back, the Reagan campaign worked out a deal with the leader of Iran's radical faction, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khomeini, to keep the hostages in captivity until after the 1980 presidential election. That's treason. They most certainly tipped the results of the 1980 election in Reagan's favor. You fucking failure, you buffoon! So that's who Reagan was. He reached his right hand around to my behind, and as we smiled for the photo, he asked the group, do you want to know who my favorite magician is? As I felt his hand dig into my flesh, he said, David Copperfield. Oh, God. That's the photo. There it is. There's his hand, David Copperfield. And there's his face. He's trying to get a little boner. He turned hospitals into death rows for infants. You fucking failure, you buffoon.
One thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky.
George Herbert Walker Bush couldn't get NAFTA passed. Bill Clinton could. They couldn't repeal Ronald Reagan couldn't repeal Glass-Steagall. Bill Clinton could.
I did not have.
Let's pause it here for a second because this is very important when we bring up the fact of Bill Clinton. Now, a lot of liberals, a lot of vote blue no matter who people, they still hold on to the propaganda that Bill Clinton was this great president, you know. But the reason why we are in this economic nightmare, this social nightmare to begin with, the reason why corporations control all the media, the reason why we have an insane, out-of-control prison industrial complex is because of Democratic President Bill Clinton. See, with the aftermath of Reagan and the Bush presidency, Bush Sr. to be precise, the Democrats went on a whole new route to be right-wing, conservative, corporate sellouts. And Bill Clinton opened that door. Notice how nobody panicked when Bill Clinton removed deregulation. Notice how nobody panicked when Bill Clinton was helping build the prison industrial complex with the help of his good friend Joe Biden, who, again, shouts out with pride that he was able to build that crime bill, create that crime bill. You see, the Democrats under Bill Clinton did more things that the Republican establishment was only foaming at the mouth, dreaming that they could do. Now, if you were paying attention, you would think maybe this would never happen again. But it did happen. History did repeat itself under the Obama administration. And notice, too, it repeated again under the Biden administration. Remember during the Trump administration how so many people were saying we're going to riot in the streets if Trump gets rid of Roe v. Wade? Where are those legions at now? Because that happened under a Democratic administration. I hope all of you are waking up and paying attention. No matter who's president, nothing's going to change. See, the thing is, the Republican establishment, they're really good at being the quote-unquote bad guys so that people can go on the streets and protest. But as soon as a Democratic president becomes, or sits in the White House, everyone goes back to sleep, enjoys brunch, and then the Democratic president, be it Bill Clinton, Obama, and now Biden, well, they're doing all the things that all the Republican presidents wish they could do. You see? It's one big club, and you ain't in it. Let's play the rest of the video if we can.
Have sexual relations with that woman.
With that woman.
You fucking failure, you buffoon. I got to get to this real fast. By the way, it's a big club and you ain't in it. You ain't in it.
Fool me once. Shame on you.
Shame on you.
It fooled me. We can't get fooled again.
And you hear that face?
Decision of one man to launch a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of Iraq.
Oops.
I mean, of Ukraine.
Those weapons of mass destruction got to be somewhere.
Look. See, that's George Bush. He's looking underneath a desk, and he makes a joke out of that we created a lie to invade a foreign country and kill 1 million people. Oh. You fucking failure, you buffoon. I got to get to this real fast. By the way, it's a big club and you ain't in it.
Remember these words. Oh, by the way, let's pause here real quick before we play the rest of the video. So here we go with Barack Obama, another jag-off. So let's keep the video up here. Again, to my audience, make your own choices. I'm not going to tell you how to vote or do whatever you want to do. I mean, go ahead. Vote however you wish. Not vote. I don't care. But look, if you're running into people that are die-hard puppets for the Democratic Party or Republican Party that are just brainwashed and can't actually see the fact that they're being suckered, politely, kindly enlighten them. It might be an uphill struggle, but hey, you're freeing somebody's mind. Tell them that no matter who they vote for, Team Red or Team Blue, they're still going to get it up right up the wazoo. Because let's face it, who owns the president? Who owns the senators? Who owns the House Representatives? Corporations, my friends. That's who controls our leaders in Washington, D.C. And I'll start with Ronnie Boy Reagan, and here we go with Barack Obama, who, mind you, he even admitted that he's kind of a Republican. So let's play the rest of what Barack Obama's going to be doing.
Immediate aftermath of 9/11, we did some things that were wrong. We did a whole lot of things that were right.
Yep, we tortured some folks.
We tortured some folks.
Yep.
Barack Obama became president. He had complete control of government. They had a filibuster-proof Senate, the Democrats did, for at least a couple months. And what Barack Obama did was pretend that his hands were tied. They weren't. And he did it on purpose. One of his moderate Republican policies was to bail out the banks on the backs of middle-class and poor homeowners. While making them foreclose, by foreclosing on 5.1 million houses in America. He didn't bail them out and help them. He screwed them. You know I'm bought. Come on. My whole cabinet came from Citigroup. You know that. You saw the WikiLeaks email that revealed that my entire cabinet came from a fucking office at Citigroup. You know that, right? He took 2 wars and made them 7. He increased the military budget. He took the banks and made them bigger. That's what he did. You fucking failure, you buffoon.
Let's pause it here, too. Real quick, too. I don't want to correct Jimmy on this, but don't forget Jimmy. Under Barack Obama, and hey, vote blue no matter who crowd, you should hear this out too. Those kids in cages, those facilities were expanded and built by good old Barack Obama. Hey, wait, who is the vice president in the Obama administration? Come on, top. Oh, that's right, senile Joe Biden. Should have known. Let's play the rest of it.
I got to get to this real fast. By the way, it's a big club and you ain't in it. There you go.
You ain't in it.
Picture his staff. His picture of his staff is
Then they say he left troops in Syria. You know what I did? I left troops to take the oil. I took the oil.
Pause it. Pause it. Let's keep the video up here. Donald Trump is a scumbag through and through. And he was a Democrat before he was a Republican. The Clintons knew what kind of person Donald Trump was from the beginning. A lot of people knew. But the thing is, this is the most transparent thing ever. He said we were there for the oil. Any other Democratic or Republican president would talk things about freedom, security, international diplomacy, all those good things. Trump just said the most honest thing there. Yeah, we're there for the oil. Going to take the oil. It's a terrible thing to admit, but at least he was honest. A scumbag guy through and through. But he told the truth there, and it flew over millions of Americans' heads. Because since Reagan, that's what we've been doing, taking the oil, but they've been putting a pretty face on it. The neoliberal face of freedom, human rights, diplomacy, international security. We're just there for the oil. Trump just said it right then and there. We're there for the oil. Isn't that sad? Scumbag person like Trump told the truth to the world, and everyone still has, we gotta stop Trump. Look, I don't want to see him run again in 2024. I sure as hell didn't want to see him get reelected in 2020, but at least he told the truth. I could give him that. He told the truth. The orange Cheeto was right for this one thing. There we go. That's Donald Trump there. And we can thank the Clintons for the creation of Trump. And Bernie Sanders being a nutless wonder in 2016 and in 2020. Let's play the rest of the video.
I'm taking the oil. They're protecting the oil.
Loving Jimmy's reaction there.
Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Maybe we should take it, but we have the oil. Right now, the United States has the oil. So they say he left troops in Syria. No, I got rid of all of them.
Go to commercial.
Protecting the oil.
Go to commercial.
The Wall Street Journal.
Move.
That's what Trump is doing to citizens of America peacefully protesting outside the White House. And why did he do it? So he could get a photo op.
The whole of Bible, he doesn't even
failure,
believe
you buffoon. I got to get to this real fast.
Remember,
by the way, it's a big club.
By the way, let's pause here. Let's pause here real quick. Notice in that picture, Michelle Obama's hugging George Bush Jr. You remember a lot of liberals were saying that George Bush Jr. was the devil. As soon as Ellen DeGeneres started dancing with him, he got rehabilitated because he said some mean things about Trump. Just brace yourself, folks. Give it a few years, maybe 8 more years, right? Or something like that. Donald Trump's image is going to be rehabilitated too. Some jag-off celebrity is going to be dancing with him too, and everyone's going to say, Trump wasn't such a bad president, but this other person, they're bad. Saturday morning cartoon logic is ruling over the American people's minds. Wake up. You're being controlled by the corporate media. Play the rest of the video and talk about Grandpa Biden.
He had to drop out the first time he ran because he got caught being a political plagiarist and lying about it. He constantly lying. His own staff told him, stop lying about your role in the civil rights movement. He wouldn't stop lying about it. He just lied that he got arrested with Nelson Mandela.
The Commonwealth, Congressman Dore and Congressman Scott.
Is he literally on his deathbed? That's how you sound right before you start going into a death rattle. I want to say it's great to be here. I want everyone to know that I don't have any regrets. You fucking failure, you buffoon. I got to get to this real fast. By the way, it's a big club and you ain't in it. If Nuremberg laws were applied, then every post-war American president would have been hanged, says Noam Chomsky. So, just in case you know, the terrorists are us. We're the terrorists. We are the terrorists. FYI. I don't criticize Democrats because I favor Republicans. I criticize Democrats because they favor Republicans.
All right, Jimmy reacting to Jimmy. But hold on, folks. Why? Why would I play this video? Well, I want to pull up this article from The Insider. Now, if we can't do it, that's fine. I can see that there's an ad thing coming up, so we can ignore that. But nonetheless, this article, and you can find it in the show notes in the description box below. If not Trump versus Biden in 2024, then who? Who are these fantastic people? I'm going to swim through this list. But hang on. Hey, put your feet up. You're going to find out. Oops, I'm a little bit out of center right there. There you go. We're going to find out together. And I think I'm all right. You could actually pull that image right there. I think I'm all right. We're going to find out together who's running or could potentially be a front runner, both Democrat and Republican. We got Ronnie Boy DeSantis, Florida governor. We got Kamala Harris and Pete Buttigieg. We got Mike Pence. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. We got, the guy who's trying to grow a beard. Maybe, all right, Ted Cruz. We got Ted Cruz. We got Gretchen Whitmire. We got Glenn Youngkin. Gavin Newsom. Tom Cotton. The cuck Bernie Sanders. Rick Scott. Kristi Noem. Tim Scott. And Baron Vladimir Harkonnen. Chris Christie. Mike Pompeo. Nikki Haley. Do you feel like vomiting in your brain yet? Because I do. Nothing's going to change. What do all these people have in common? They've been part of the establishment for a very long time. They've been in Washington, D.C. for forever. They're owned by corporations. Now, I know people will quickly come to bat for Bernie and say, oh, he's for the people. Well, this is the same Bernie Sanders not once but twice cucked out during the Democratic primary and never once spoke out the fact that the DNC was committing election fraud towards him and his campaign. You see, this is the nightmare we're in. Nothing's going to change. If you vote Team Red or Team Blue, it won't change at all, period. And people need to wisen up to the fact that we're being screwed over. Those names. Let's have democracy in the chat. Let's have democracy in the chat. Let's bring it up. Let's have democracy in the chat. Hey, folks. Type 1 with those names of people that I listed. You have absolute confidence in that maybe one of those people can make America great again and restore faith into our institutions. Type 2 if you know that no matter who sits in the White House, the real rulers will be the corporations, the banks, the top 1%. That's democracy. That's the history of the U.S. presidency. It's not you, the people, who's going to elect someone who will represent us all. It's going to be us, the people, who are going to elect some jag-off politician who will then work for the top 1%. You don't have a say in your democracy. As long as money is speech and corporations are people, nothing is going to change. People need to wake up to the fact that our system is screwing us over.